אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. We have spoken about this in the past, but I want to repeat it a little bit because I think this subject is important for us. I want to speak about the Mishkan, the tabernacle that our ancestors made in the desert. How did they do it? Each one had to give half a shekel. I already mentioned it. The contribution of everyone, all the half shekels, enabled the construction of the Mishkan. But the Mishkan actually follows many other things. It follows a period of slavery when our ancestors were in Egypt and God sent Moses. Moses went before the Pharaoh and he argued with him. And through Moses, God brought 10 plagues upon the Egyptians. Punishment that they suffered in sometimes even in their own selves with all types of illnesses. Eventually all the firstborn died in Egypt. And the Egyptians were forced, so to speak, to let the Jewish people out. Because in those days, you figured if you're a slave, you were born to be a slave. You can't get out of it. But here came something else. God said, let them go out, because else they felt they're going to be destroyed totally. Yet, after they left Egypt, the Egyptians changed their mind. Why did we let these slaves go free? And they started running after them. And our ancestors, the Hebrews, were in the desert. On one side were the hordes of the Egyptians running after them, and on the other side were the waters of the Red Sea. What were they to do? So God told Moses, take the rod that you have in your hand, and with that he divided the waters of the Red Sea. On one side, the other side, and in the middle there was dry land, and our ancestors were able to go through the other side of the sea and save themselves. The Egyptians that were running after them, when they were in the middle, the water suddenly came together again, they all drowned. So our ancestors were saved. But they were still a horde of slaves. God told them, come to Mount Sinai, there I'll give you the law. And God gave them a set of norms that actually straightened out our ancestors, gave them direction in life, because freedom without some north, without an orientation, turns out to be a free-for-all. So they became a nation really through the law in Mount Sinai. Now God said, you know what? You need a tabernacle also. We're going to make a structure. But this time, God said, you know what? Each one has to give half a shekel. Why is this time different? Why were they asked to contribute? Why didn't God just create a tabernacle in heaven and placed it on earth in the middle of the Jewish people, told them, this is the place I'm going to reside? Why did he ask for a contribution? Because maybe there is a very important lesson in that. In order to appreciate something in life, you have to work for it. When things are done for you, they satisfy you momentarily. They fulfill a certain need, but they don't make any change in you. You don't feel any inner satisfaction for something that you have done. When God took them out of Egypt, how many times didn't they complain, there is no water, there's nothing to eat, it's better to go back to Egypt? Violated maybe the law of God, but when they did something with their own effort, they surely appreciated it. That's a tremendous lesson for each and every one of us. Of course, they say that the best inheritance is what you get from ancestors. That's the best money that you have. But that is not really true. What is the best? What you have worked for. You went to school, you obtained a profession, now you're working with your own hands, with your own mind, and what you obtain is the result of your effort. When you do something with your own hands, with your own mind, the satisfaction is totally different. Make sure you teach that to your children. You can help them out, but tell them that the greatest satisfaction, moral satisfaction, spiritual satisfaction, you will feel better with yourself, is when you do something with your own hands, the results of your own effort.